In our video number 19, we are going to begin with Unit 4 in Macroeconomics, the government budget and the economy. What is government budget? The government budget is a financial statement of budgetary receipts and expenditure of the government during a fiscal year, which runs from 1st of April to 31st of March. It is presented before the Parliament on the last working day of February. Then it is not only a statement of estimated receipts and expenditure, but a significant national policy statement. The budget reflects and shapes the country's economic life. The points that we are going to discuss in this chapter are the functions of the government budget. That is the allocation of resources, distribution of income, and stabilization or price stability, and the economic growth, of course. Then we will discuss the components of government budget, that is the sources of revenue and its expenditure. And then we will also discuss the types of budgets, that is whether the budget is a balanced budget, a surplus budget, or a deficit budget. Then the measures of the deficit budget being the revenue deficit, the fiscal deficit, and the primary deficit. Let's discuss these one by one. First, let us look at the functions or the objectives of the government budget. The first one that we are going to talk about is the reallocation of resources. It refers to the redistribution of resources from one use to another to fulfill various socio-economic objectives through a taxation policy. Now, heavy taxes are imposed on harmful products like liquor, tobacco, cigarettes, etc. to discourage these occupations which are not so beneficial to the society. Then subsidies and tax concessions are given on beneficial products like electricity generation or the backward region development to influence allocation of resources in the country. Then it also adopts the expenditure policy that brings about welfare in the fields of health and sanitation. Such non-profitable economic activities which are not undertaken by the private sector, either due to lack of enough profits or due to huge investment expenditure that is involved. More expenditure by the government on maintaining law and order raises a sense of security among the people. Any such expenditure raises welfare of the people. The second function of the budget is redistribution of income. Redistribution that would reduce income inequalities, that is, reduces the gap between the rich and the poor to ensure progress of the people, again by adopting the taxation and the expenditure policies. Under the taxation policy, it adopts a progressive income taxation. That means the higher income group will be taxed higher and lower income groups would be taxed a less rate of income tax. This reduces the inequalities of income as the difference between the higher income and the lower income groups will fall. Now, under the expenditure policy, that is transfer payments and subsidies, the amount that is collected through taxes is spent on welfare of the poor people. For example, free education and health to the poor people, providing free food grains to the families living below the poverty line, and subsidized LPG under the Ujjwala Yojana to the families living below the poverty line. These kind of activities reduce the income inequalities and also raises their standard of living, thus increases their welfare. Next we shall discuss the third objective, which is economic stability or price stability. This means the absence of large-scale fluctuations in price level. Too much fluctuations in prices create uncertainties in the economy. So the government can exercise control over price fluctuations through its taxation policy and again the expenditure policy. During inflation, when the aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply, it would discourage spending by increasing the taxes and reducing its own expenditure. Increasing the taxes under the taxation policy, if it increases the taxes, the disposable income would reduce and hence bring down the aggregate demand. Under the expenditure policy, the government reduces its expenditure. To raise the aggregate supply, tax concessions and subsidies for private sector enterprises can also be used by the government. During deflation, that is when aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply, the government under its taxation policy reduces or decreases the taxes. When taxes are reduced, the disposable income for a consumer increases and hence raises the aggregate demand. Under the expenditure policy, the government would reduce its expenditure. So this will raise the level of aggregate demand and it will combat deflationary situation in the economy. A small correction here, it increases its expenditure. When the government increases expenditure, there will be more disposable income and hence it would increase or raise the aggregate demand. Now the fourth one is the economic growth, which implies increase in real GDP. What does increase in real GDP of an economy mean? It means an increase in the volume of goods and services produced in an economy. Now, under the taxation policies, the government provides tax benefits for projects in backward regions. So, concessions that aim at reducing cost and thus making profits. Subsidies aim at reducing prices or cost of the products to encourage sales and earn more profits. Thus, tax concessions and subsidies both aim at raising profits. When profits increase, savings and investment will also increase. This will lead to economic growth. Now, under the expenditure policy, that is expenditure on infrastructure, increases the production capacity and hence raises the demand for different types of goods and services. So this induces an economic growth in the country. In the next video, we are going to discuss the components of government budget. Of all the four that we learned today, the most important of them are the first two, that is the reallocation function of the government budget and the redistribution function of the government budget.